A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another spoiler-filled graphic novel review today. So, cheers. Now, I've reviewed a lot of books and graphic novels and whatnot over the course of the time Plaguelands Media has had this channel, and some of my favorites have been the weird-ass crossovers. I can remember Transformers and Terminator, Transformers and Back to the Future, which, although the book fell apart on me, was still a really fucking fun read. And one that I actually passed on to some of my students at the university. But I never thought I would want a crossover as batshit fucking crazy as the one that I'm going to review today, which you already know what it is from the title of this video, but you know what? That's besides the point. I'm a huge fan of DC Comics. I'm a huge fan of Justice League. I'm a huge fan of the DC movies. I know that's a little controversial, but I really don't care. I like what I like, and I enjoy those fucking films, with the exception of Aquaman. I thought that movie was shit, but that's just me. I haven't seen Aquaman 2, so I don't know. Looking forward to it though, because Black Manta is one of my favorite DC villains of all time. That is not to say that I'm a DC fanboy. I am not. Those of you that have seen this channel know that I love Marvel Comics as well, and like the Image stuff, and I'm just a fan of, well, you know what? I'm not going to say good storytelling. I'm just a fan of storytelling. I'm just a fan of people wanting to get their fucking ideas across in a way that is entertaining for me. I don't give a shit if you like it or if you don't like it. It's just entertaining for me. Justice League. We've got Superman, we've got Batman, we've got Wonder Woman, we've got Green Lantern, whichever iteration you want, be it Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, Simon Baz, whatever. It doesn't really fucking matter. We've got Aquaman. And a ton of other side characters. Hawkman, Hawkgirl, all of those. If you're a fan of the DC animated TV shows, Justice League is up there with Batman the Animated Series. The DC animated universe, fucking brilliant. Starting with the Flashpoint Paradox and going all the way to the Darkseid War. Although I just recently finished watching the 3-movie Crisis on Infinite Earths and loved every fucking minute of it, even though it deviated away from the comics quite a bit. A comic which I will be reading and reviewing in the future, so stay tuned for that. But not only am I a fan of comic books, comic book movies, all that kind of stuff, I've been a fan of the kaiju movies from back in the day, from like Toho Studios, Godzilla, and all of the iterations, with the exception of the Matthew Broderick one, but let's not talk about that. And I love the new versions of Godzilla, and then Godzilla vs. Kong, Kong Skull Island, all of that fucking MonsterVerse shit. A lot of fun. If you haven't checked out Godzilla -1, please do. It is really fucking good. So, yeah, I love these IPs. Some fucking genius thought, let's smash this shit together. let's bring the public a 7-issue series that's so batshit crazy that maybe it's going to work. And that is Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I shit you not, this is a real thing. I am not making it up. This is a hardcover graphic novel of the 7-issue series of Justice League. And you can see on the cover, we've got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman versus Godzilla versus Kong. How in the fuck did this become a thing? I don't know. Just look at the art on the back. I read this yesterday. I got home from watching Deadpool and Wolverine, which, on a side note, go and fucking watch it. Genius. Absolutely fantastic film. I'm not going to spoil anything because those of you that haven't seen it yet need to go and see it. It's just a brilliant, brilliant film and a great addition to nerddom. All of you fucking nerds out there, you know what I'm talking about. This is a thing. I read this yesterday. I usually take a couple of days. I read 1 or 2 issues in the graphic novel, put it down, walk away, digest it, come back. Could not put this fucking thing down. Absolutely loved every fucking minute of it. The reason being, the geniuses behind this, I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names because they're right there. I'm just going to talk about that later. They found a way to make it work. And by making it work, I mean it's realistic in the world of the DC universe. Like, this could actually fucking happen. This could be canon in the DC universe. That is how good this is. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this. This is going to be a spoiler-filled graphic novel review, as I always like to do with these sorts of things, of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Sit back, relax, enjoy. I might add that the art is phenomenal in this. So you might want to kind of watch the screen instead of just kind of like kicking back and doing your own shit while you listen to it. But otherwise, let's get right into the next episode of...
Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. Read a fucking book. People.
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. The story you never knew you actually wanted. Here it is. I mean, just look at that art. So we start with Clark and Lois on the roof of the Daily Planet. Clark is about to propose to her when Godzilla appears outside of Metropolis. We go to 12 hours earlier and we have Kara, like Supergirl, Flash, and Green Lantern all talking about Clark proposing to Lois and watching as Clark fights Titano, this giant, like kryptonite-infused ape, wondering whether or not he needs help. He ultimately doesn't, and he manages to defeat the beast. Wonder Woman is talking to Clark about his upcoming engagements and wishing him all of the best. We then have the Legion of Doom. These are the villains led by Lex Luthor. You have Black Manta, Captain Cold, Cheetah, and a few others, Toyman. And Lex basically has a plan to break into Superman's Fortress of Solitude, which he has managed to discover. So they get there and they're looking for a mother box and Orion's throne. We see Clark kind of packing for his vacation. There is trouble, but Supergirl says he senses the alarm go off at the Fortress of Solitude, but Supergirl's like, don't worry, we've got it. And Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and the Flash arrive there. Cheetah's pissed off with Toyman because he was the one that set off the alarm. A fight breaks out, which is just an awesome superhero, supervillain brawl. Toyman throws one of his little toy bombs, which causes a problem, and they all seem to vanish. All the villains seem to vanish. Lois is busy working. Clark is like, come on, we're going on vacation. We cut to the villains who have been transported somewhere. They don't exactly know where they are, but they see this giant beast. You might recognize it from the Monsterverse movies with Kong. They're getting ready to fight it. They hurry to a Monarch outpost where they download some files and realize that all of this is because of Toyman, who stole the Dreamstone from the Fortress of Solitude, and so he wishes everyone back to the regular DC universe, but this also includes the monsters. We cut now back to Clark, who sees Godzilla and flies off to confront him. So he confronts Godzilla. They get into a fight. Godzilla kind of smacks him around a bit before the Justice League start to head his way for a little bit of backup. However, there is a giant spider Cthulhu monster in Central City. This is Ironhide's prison. This giant mammoth has reached Themyscira, and we have this bat thing in Gotham while Godzilla is attacking Metropolis. So, of course, they have to kind of split their forces. Batman and the Bat family are going to deal with the attack in Gotham. Wonder Woman has Green Arrow, who she leaves on Skull Island because they sense there's something kind of here that needs to be investigated while she goes off to Themyscira. And back in the Legion of Doom headquarters, Black Manta has told Cheetah that Toyman took the Dreamstone and he has hired Deathstroke the Terminator to locate Toyman. Mercy, Lex Luthor's kind of secretary, comes to inform him of exactly what is going on. Superman is still battling Godzilla. Lois watches. Jimmy Olsen comes and tells her, you got to get the fuck out of here. In the meantime, the Bat family, that is kind of Batgirl, Batwoman, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, are all battling this Bat kaiju. Red Hood believes that he can kill it with a single shot through the eye. Batman says, please don't do that, you fucking asshole. Cyborg is on the way to help them. But he shoots the thing and the thing just goes kind of apeshit. Black Canary turns up. They realize that this thing has like sonic detection. It is a bat, of course. And they devise a plan to incapacitate it. With Cyborg's help, they amplify Black Canary's sonic scream to a frequency that will take it out, which it does. Hawk Girl has come to help Superman take on Godzilla. Godzilla kind of smacks her, but she's caught by Shazam. And Shazam, realizing that he might be able to help because Godzilla's radiation and Superman's heat vision aren't kind of getting anywhere, lands on top of Godzilla and yells Shazam. Now, those of you that don't know, whenever Shazam says that word, lightning strikes and he turns back into a boy. And when he's a boy and he says Shazam, he turns into the superhero. So as the superhero, he turns back into Billy Batson on top of Godzilla's head. Superman flies to rescue him. Billy is about to say Shazam again when Godzilla hits them with his radiation breath, thus killing Superman, who protected Billy. Wow. The Flash runs to Central City, primarily Iron Heights, the prison, because this Spider Cthulhu thing is attacking and all the prisoners are trying to escape. So he tries his best to contain them while waiting for backup. Supergirl approaches. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, is there. But Supergirl realizes she can no longer hear Superman's heartbeat and flies off to find out what is going on, leaving the Flash and Green Lantern to fight this thing alone. Godzilla is just wreaking havoc through the city. Atom Smasher comes to try and take him down. Billy Batson is feeling guilty over the death of Superman. Godzilla smacks the shit out of Atom Smasher and then basically rips his neck open with a single bite. Thus, Billy now feels guilty for the death of two heroes, Superman and Atom Smasher. Billy turns back into Shazam and with the help of Supergirl goes and punches the shit out of Godzilla, who falls, and Supergirl, realizing that Superman is down, begs Hawk Girl to take him back to the Fortress of Solitude or the Watchtower. At Iron Heights, the creature has started to kind of leave, just like Godzilla has kind of started to leave. And the rogues decide now we'll take out the Flash. Green Lantern tries to stop it on Themyscira. Wonder Woman and Donna Troy go to kind of wrangle this giant woolly mammoth thing with their lassos. But before they get a chance to kind of defeat it, it just starts to walk off, called by some unseen beacon. Flash manages to save Green Lantern, and the creature basically starts to fuck off as Supergirl arrives and tries to help, while Hawkgirl takes Superman away from everything. On Skull Island, Ollie is running for his life. Kong is kind of fighting this giant monster. Kara shows up and tries to calm down Kong. This is the point where you kind of think Kong is going to fall in love with her like he did in the original film. But Kara just smacks the crap out of him, pissing him off even more. In the Batcave, they're talking about the death of Superman. Batman doesn't believe it. Shazam comes down and proclaims it's all his fault. He was the one that fucked up, and that is why Superman is dead. And then we see this beacon being let off in the desert, which is drawing the monsters to it, and Lex Luthor is there. Okay. We come to the city ruins where Green Lantern is taking Atom Smasher away. Shazam is following Godzilla, and they have Clark back at the Fortress of Solitude in a, or it could be the Watchtower actually, in a kind of regenerative pod, so to speak. Think of it as like a Bacta tank from fucking Star Wars. Batman still doesn't believe that he is going to die, but he does check the Fortress of Solitude, and so it is the fortress, sorry, and lets them know that the Dreamstone is actually missing. Ollie and Kara are on Skull Island. Kara is trying to lure Kong. Ollie realizes that there are Legion of Shadows operatives on the island. He fights them. Kong, also realizing this, creates a bit of an earthquake which knocks them all off the cliff, including Ollie. But Ollie sees a ship down below that he goes, kind of drops down to investigate. They're not in the fortress, they're in the Watchtower. What am I talking about? Lois is in the Watchtower. She wants to see Clark, which she does. She tells Clark, even in his state, that she found the ring and that she's going to stay there with him. She asks Hal if she can stay, and Hal is like, of course, do what you got to do. And so she starts kind of watching back all the footage that the Watchtower took of the monster battles, and she ends up calling Mercy, the secretary of Lex Luthor. The Legion of Doom is kind of waiting for Lex Luthor's go-ahead. They've got a few more members now, like Clayface and Penguin. Deathstroke and Cheetah are still looking for Toyman. They realize that Toyman was in Metropolis. Toyman is primarily a Superman villain, so that would make sense. And he was there when Godzilla kind of first appeared. At this point, Lex has discovered some of the secrets that Monarch have been hiding, and Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and the Flash have gone down to Atlantis because Arthur Curry, Aquaman, has called for help, seeing as a creature is attacking the dome that is kind of surrounding Atlantis, that is protecting it from the water pressure. This was something I didn't know, that if you got rid of that dome, Atlantis would get smashed up under water pressure. So there you go. So they fight the creature, and the creature is basically beating the shit out of them, another kaiju. But then Godzilla comes swimming down, and Godzilla and the creature start to fight. The fight is, in fact, destroying the dome that is protecting Atlantis. So Aquaman tells them, listen, hold this thing off. I'm going to go down and I'm going to go get some help. And in classic Clash of the Titans fashion, what does he do? He releases the Kraken. There you go. The Kraken is the protector of Atlantis, also a kaiju, surprisingly enough. And so now it's a three-way kaiju battle. On the ship that Green Arrow, Ollie, has infiltrated, he finds that they have got the skull of one of these kaiju creatures. Why would the Legion of Shadows want this skull? Is it the Legion of Shadows? Am I saying that correctly? I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. I'll be right back. Let me just look that one up. Well, I've been saying Legion of Shadow, but it's like the League of Assassins. Ra's al Ghul's group. I don't know. I'm fucking sorry if any of you got confused by that, but you know what I fucking meant. So great kind of Super Friends kind of throwback there to the Hall of Justice. Lois talks to Mercy, trying to get some more information. Mercy sends her all the Monarch files, which she can then kind of give to everyone. And her and Kara have a little bit of a heart-to-heart while Godzilla, the Kraken, and the other monster are fighting outside of Atlantis. They realize that the monsters are being drawn by a beacon, which Flash kind of goes off to find while the others are kind of trying to stop the dome around Atlantis from being destroyed. Flash manages to find the beacon, trying to draw the monsters away. And then we get Ollie fighting the League of Assassins. Got it right that fucking time, didn't I? And blowing up the ship, presumably. Cyborg comes to Batman to help him with his plan, which also involves one of the Flashes, not Barry Allen, who is fighting in Atlantis, but Wally West. Kara heads back to Skull Island, where Gorilla Grodd has come and is kind of worshipping and controlling Kong, and he manages to control Kara, forces Kara to attack Kong to make sure that she is on his side. And Deathstroke and Cheetah are still on the lookout for Toyman. Shazam is headed to the headquarters of the Legion of Doom. Batman is telling him don't, but he goes there anyway just to wreak some fucking havoc. He still feels guilty about it. Green Lantern is trying to help hold the dome together, but he can't quite do it until the rest of the human Green Lanterns come. We have John Stewart, we have Jessica Cruz, Guy Gardner, and Simon Baz. Now, out of all of these, Guy Gardner is probably my least favorite, and I know there are a lot of fans of the John Stewart version, but I really love the Simon Baz version of Green Lantern. I thought he was a great addition to the lore of the Green Lanterns. So they help shore it up while Godzilla and the Kraken continue to fight. We find out that Lex Luthor, using Monarch's technology, has actually found Mechagodzilla, which he can now control. But the true purpose of the League of Assassins with the skull was so that Ra's al Ghul could put it in the Lazarus pit. The Lazarus pit will bring whatever it was back to life. Now, tell me, in all honesty, if you're not thinking this is one fucking awesome story. Just gets better. Wait for it. So the superheroes are meeting in the Watchtower, trying to kind of work out exactly what is going on. There's Godzilla. They know the monsters are being drawn by these beacons. We have Kong. They say that Kong could be an ally. And then we discover that Clark is actually missing from the tube. Luthor gets the Legion of Doom together and reveals Mechagodzilla, his plans for defeating the kaiju and thus being the hero because he's an egomaniacal piece of shit. The beacon in Mechagodzilla is drawing all the kaiju monsters towards Metropolis. They're saying, should we turn it off? Lex is saying, just keep it going. But we see that Batman has also created a mecha robot suit with the help of all the Bat family. It is being powered by Cyborg and by one of the Flashes, I believe Wally West, running on a cosmic treadmill. If you don't know what any of that means, go and read a fucking comic book. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Mechagodzilla and Batman and the Mecha Batman start to fight as all the kaiju arrive. The Green Lanterns come and they form a Robo Green Lantern together. Think of fucking Voltron. Jesus Christ, how can this not be a good story? Fucking awesome. There is a giant shit fight. All the Bat family kind of get involved. Everything's going down here. Kong arrives. Supergirl is taking out the heroes because she's controlled by Gorilla Grodd with the green thing on his head. They quickly realize what is going on, but in the interim, Gorilla Grodd actually kills Guy Gardner. Now, Guy Gardner was the Green Lantern that, number one, fought Batman for control of the Justice League, and Batman took him out in one punch. Guy Gardner actually became a Red Lantern after the Blackest Night, Brightest Day storyline, when you got the whole kind of Lantern spectrum of shit. Guy Gardner is a whiny little bitch, and he was killed by Gorilla Grodd. I don't even know what to think about this. But yeah, it is brutal. Just brutal. Kong is fighting the Robo Green Lanterns. Aquaman comes. The Flash attacks Gorilla Grodd. There's a whole kind of ton of fighting. Mecha Batman gets knocked down. Beast Boy turns into a giant ape and starts beating Kong up, only to be taken out by Supergirl. They realize that this green horn on Gorilla Grodd is the thing that's causing him to mind control people. So they take it out. Kara and Kong have a moment where they're like, we've been fighting on the wrong side, buddy. And then this thing appears. This was Ra's al Ghul's plan all along. He got the skull, put it in the Lazarus pit. Now we've got another monster. Godzilla is getting restless. He's chained by nth metal, which Aquaman used to secure him. It was what was used to secure the Kraken. But then Superman appears And he's like, we've got some fucking unfinished business, mate. So, Superman appears back to Lois. So this is like a little bit before what is happening. And lets her know that Cyborg and Batman actually turned that healing chamber into a boom tube, which sent him into the middle of the sun, and the solar energy recharged his cells. So now that he has that, he is back. And Lois agrees to marry him, of course. Cheetah and Deathstroke find Toyman. He was actually crushed by Godzilla's foot. The big monster kaiju shit fight with Robo Green Lanterns and Robot Batman, Mechagodzilla, Kong, all the others is just going on. I mean, this is just fucking awesome. Hal is mourning the death of Guy Gardner, even though he was a bit of a prick. Kong is going apeshit on these monsters. Everyone is just fucking fighting everyone. It is an absolute shit fight. Superman heads to the Legion of Doom, frees Billy Batson so that Shazam can join the fight. But as he's flying back to Metropolis, he says to Billy, listen, I've got some unfinished business I need to take care of. And because of Guy Gardner, Robo Green Lantern has to have only a shield instead of an arm. So everyone's fighting, but Superman goes down and frees Godzilla to bring Godzilla into the fight. Now, the reason Godzilla is going apeshit is because they have discerned that Godzilla is there to keep the natural balance of things kind of in order, and he has been taken from our world to this DC world where there are metahumans, and that upsets the natural balance of things. So Godzilla has been trying to kill these metahumans. That's the whole kind of point of the story. Again, just a lot of kaijus fighting, but then Guy Gardner's Green Lantern ring comes shooting off and goes right onto Kong. Kong becomes a fucking Green Lantern. What does he make? A stone axe that he uses to sever the fucking creature. And in the meantime, to get rid of Mechagodzilla, Wonder Woman and the other superheroes rip the arms off of Mechagodzilla. Superman comes in and just beats the living shit out of everyone while Robo Batman gets taken out. Godzilla uses his fucking breath to shoot down the dude's throat. And Godzilla and Kong are there at the end. Batman, realizing that the Dreamstone is the problem, uses it to send them all back to the Monsterverse, so to speak, and then he and Lois have a picnic in Metropolis. And that is the end of the fucking story. Then we get the cover gallery. I absolutely love these. I mean, these just fill me with so much freaking joy. That is amazing. Like, I don't even know what to say about this one. And we have, that is brilliant. This is my favorite cover, however. I love this one. These are all variant covers for the 7 issues. And that is Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. So that was Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. I went into this with an open mind. I knew the art was already going to be fantastic, which it is, but the story, I'd seen some videos on YouTube and they sounded okay, and I'm like, yeah, could be fun. But I honestly did not expect to love this story as much as I fucking did. It was just superb. It was balls to the wall action, great characterization. The fact that they made it realistic in as much as it made sense in the scope of the DC universe was just phenomenal. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, we had characters like Atom Smasher being killed, Guy Gardner being killed, so you know this isn't canon. This is one of those probably Elseworlds stories. I don't really care. It was so much fun, and I highly recommend it to anyone and everyone. I cannot wait to pass this one on to someone, be it a student or friends or whoever wants to read this, whoever wants to take it. I want this to go out there to the fucking masses, and I want everyone who is a nerd, who is a movie fan, who is a fan of good storytelling, who is a fan of good comic book art, just to read it and fucking enjoy it, because that's all this was. This was pure enjoyment from the very first page to the very last page. This was just pure fucking enjoyment, in my opinion. Cannot say enough about this. Absolutely loved it. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that notification bell. We are a scant 15 subscribers away from me reviewing the most offensive book in my collection. You will not be disappointed. Trust me, I've read this thing 3 times now. You are not going to be disappointed. You might be from the fact that I can't show the cover or really go into detail, but you won't be disappointed by the review. So please get the word out there. Plaguelands Media. We've got an upcoming Kickstarter, Monstrous Corporum. I'm probably saying that wrong. I don't fucking care. I'm just in a good mood after reading Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. But I will be making a video about that shortly. You can kind of look up Plaguelands Media on Kickstarter. It is an adult-oriented colouring in book based on, or an homage to, I should say, the art style of Bernie Wrightson. You are going to love it. Mr. Ian Van Gammett did an amazing fucking job with the art. Dr. Luke Carman did a great job with the kind of mini stories that go along with it. And it really is just a horror colouring in book for you. The people that watch and like and subscribe to channels like this, small channels that just want to bring you the content that we fucking love. We're not a mass fucking media channel here at Plaguelands Media. We just bring you the content that we love to talk about. We're not a drama channel or anything like that. If we love something, we'll talk about it. If we hate something, we'll talk about it. So there you have it. Until next time, everyone, stay safe, Have a fantastic rest of your day. And go and fucking enjoy a crossover, people.